Wouldn't you hear about when I fought Deathclaw crawled out?
Good, you're here. Let's get inside.
My boys will keep an eye out here. We can handle it.
This story isn't too scary, is it?
It's the Ron.
That makes no grammatical sense. I'm here to make a transaction, not indulge your delusions of grandeur.
Come on! Is a little courtesy really so much to ask?
Either I'm referring to you as Mr. Ron or Mr. Spritz. Your choice.
Whoa now! Where'd you hear that uncool name? Not that it was ever my name, because you can ask anyone, and they'll tell you, I'm the Ron!
Cut the guy a break, Lydia. You'll be at this shit for hours at this rate.
If you're unable to keep your commentary to yourself, then perhaps you should wait outside.
And miss this?
You're here, good. We can proceed.
Look, lady, the Ron already told you. This Norwood Bank, it's Deadsville. I got no useful info to give you.
That's a blatant lie, Mr. Ron. At minimum, you have the bank records that were delivered into your hands by our mutual associate not long ago. Your follow-up inquiries into the matter have not been subtle.
Whoa, hold the phone! Have you been keeping tabs on me? Don't tell me those records were bait!
What were you expecting?
For starters, not being spied on while I go about my business.
Let's cut to the chase. There is something in Norwood Bank that interests both of us. I am putting together an expedition to find it. I have the rest of the information, and the means of getting to it. I need your knowledge of the region to fill the gaps in intelligence.
All right, you got me. I know there's something of value at Norwood. Was just hoping I can have the place scoped out before anyone else went snooping. You drive a hard bargain, lady. But the Ron knows when to hold 'em, and when to fold 'em. I'll tell you what you want. On one condition.
Caps are of no consequence. You will be paid for your cooperation and discretion.
You can keep your caps. If you want my info, then you gotta let the Ron come with. Oh yeah!
Pardon?
Ooh, plot twist. I'm liking this guy more and more.
Why would you want to go?
Usually, I can turn to mercs or scavs to dig up info I might need. But I think there might be something quite valuable at Norwood Bank. So for this one, the Ron feels it's best to go himself. And since it appears the NLTC is already going, I might as well tag along.
I assume you'll explain what you're talking about at some point?
We require something special for the NLTC to maintain interest here. Norwood Bank has the kind of leverage we need, and I want our expedition to have the best chance. Mr. Ron has the information I need to ensure our safety en route and inside. The rest of the details are irrelevant right now.
Are you sure?
Have no fear. The Ron is a cat of many talents. When we find this joint, you'll be glad you brought me along.
It's a location to the southwest of here. If my research is correct, it contains certain assets that are crucial acquisition.
This place Miss Lid is talking about is called Norwood Bank, which just so happens to be in the glowing sea.
A fact that plays to our benefit. There is a high probability that it hasn't been looted since the war due to the heavy radiation. The bank itself had been a new construction, finished only a few months before the bombs fell.
But get this, only a few days before the bombs, the joint was robbed. Paper said a bunch of commie spies blew a hole underneath and filched the place.
Pre-war papers blamed commie spies for everything between afternoon rains to the common cold. An age-old PR scapegoating trick.
Why do you care?
I care because the contents of this bank are precisely what I need to show to the board. As far as you're concerned, well, it is a bank. I'm sure there's something there you'll find valuable. But I wouldn't believe anything regarding pre-war communist spies. I have no doubts it was merely a fear-mongering tactic.
How did you discover this place?
From the NLTC territory, I was able to ascertain the bank's existence, contents, and the architectural blueprints.
And the Ron's Information Emporium knows its exact location, which movers and shakers hang around it, and the least risky route there.
You two are adorable. I could watch this show all day.
Hold on. What kind of risk are you talking about?
I'm uncertain. Radiation is the most apparent hazard. Besides that, we have no way of knowing if the building remains structurally sound.
Oh, it's still standing, baby. Might require a touch of digging to get to the doors, though.
Not a concern. I keep specialists on payroll for overcoming such obstacles.
Then the biggest trouble will be the monsters outside. You know, ghouls, rats, scorpions, death claws.
Quite. You still have time to reconsider your desire to come along and stay in your Brahmin pen.
Let's get started then.
I will assemble the expedition. Miss Gale will provide security on the way, since she insists on getting involved. I assume you have your own ways of dealing with the hazard, so if Mr. Ron can so kindly mark the location on the map, you can meet us there.
This is gonna be fun.
Whoa there! Did it just get cooler in here?
Hey there.
Hey there, cool cat. Remember that talk we had about picking your crowd?
What's wrong?
This Lydia chick. If she wants what I think she wants from the bank, then you should keep a close eye on her.
Why? What's this all about?
Rich chick like her, what would she want from a pre-war bank? Can't be gold, that's for sure. My instinct, and I have a good one, says this bank was a front for something else. And the Ron reckons Miss Lyd knows that too.
Thanks. I appreciate the warning.
Don't mention it. Information's the name of the game, and I'm the best in the business. Oh yeah!
How are you doing with all this?
The Ron's doing just fine. A little field work will be a good shake-up. Not been out there in years. But you, me, a couple of beautiful ladies, an adventure in the glowing sea. I think that's worth getting out of the office.
I've got to get going.
Catch you there.
Hi.
Me and my boys will get the princess through the glowing sea safe and sound. And the cool cat too. See you there.
Excuse me, miss?
Ah, yes. We have a small matter of your payment to discuss. A contract with you shouldn't compromise the plans at this stage. The offer is 2,000 caps for this job, with an advance of 500 up front for any supplies you might need for the glowing sea.
Why? What makes the glowing sea so dangerous?
I'm afraid I couldn't say. I'm sure it hasn't escaped your keen notice that I'm not local. Intelligence indicates heavy radiation storms, scarce landscape, and dangerous creatures. I would prepare accordingly.
This mission is going to be dangerous, right? Any additional compensation for risking life and limb?
You do have the advantage in these negotiations, I'll admit. I will double your advance. Consider it an investment in our survival.
All right, thanks.
Here's the advance. Meet us at the bank's location when you're ready.
Me and my boys will get the princess through the glowing sea safe and sound. And the cool cat too. See you there.
good
Or
you're
with
here.
too much guard
Let's get
duty.
inside.
My boys will keep an eye out here. We can handle whatever's inside. Hey there.
You know, if you ever want to hang out at the dugout sometime, let me know. Okay?
Yeah? Huh?
Yeah!
Hey. What the hell is that?
Pre-war security!
Shit! This racket is bringing in the shambles. Get ready! Hey, Your Highness. Cool Cat. Are you both alright?
Mildly nauseated, but none the worse for wear.
Hey! The Ron is always as cool as a...
Cat?
Oh, yeah. All
The security
right.
protocol has locked this
What's
room
the
down.
word?
There is an override and...
Wait! Did you know this was going to happen?
It was a possibility. The security measures were part of the construction blueprints.
Princess, next time you know something that might lock us in a room with a bunch of ghouls, you tell me. Got it?
Don't presume to give me orders. And spare me your dubious professionalism, Chief of Security.
The hell is that supposed to mean?
Why so hostile?
I apologize for losing my temper. I've never been near so many ghouls before.
Welcome to the real world, sweetheart. At least you're a decent shot.
It was impossible for me to know ahead of time what would trigger the lockdown. I was more concerned it would already be engaged before we got here. There is an override in the security room. You can get around the lockdown through the ventilation system, then through maintenance.
Nice.
There's a security grate at the end, but you should be able to...
This vent?
Based on the blueprints I studied, yes.
It's flooded. I can hear the water echo.
Are there any other options?
If there are, I'm not aware of them. The architects weren't considerate enough to illustrate escape routes for prospective robbers.
I'll see what I can do.
Once you're in the security office, you may have to figure out how to engage the override.
No need. I have the security code for the override.
Excellent. I see you finally decided to be useful.
Come on, one problem at a time. Let's get this vent open.
Howdy.
I like making.
Sweet.
Hold up. We got back on track.
Mind the cost of new
Hold up.
clothing to my house.
We got an audience.
Oh, got a message.
Hold up. We got an audience.
Oh, yeah.
Hi.
You're not claustrophobic, are you? Ready? Ugh. All right. You get in there. I'll stay with the Geek Squad. Make sure they don't bring any more ghouls with their bickering. And here, Just in case the Great gives you trouble.
You need something, General?
Stop fidgeting, Princess. I'll hear ghouls coming.
I'm not worried about that. You have a reliable talent for destruction.
It's the dirt and the muck then, isn't it? Place must be driving you insane.
Please, focus.
Where'd I put those spreadsheets?
Good business?
Excuse me.
Good work. I believe we should have time to get our bearings and figure out the next step.
The vault door seems like a pretty big kink in the plan.
We're not here for the vault. We need to get into
Come again?
the archival wing. Please stop interrupting me.
Bank robbers didn't blast their way into the vault. They opened up the floor of the archive room. That's where we need to be. Damn, that's not cool. Looks like the archival wing is sealed due to contamination.
What does that mean?
Too much radiation.
Or an airborne pathogen, but your theory is far more likely given context. This won't be quite as simple as crawling through a vent. We will need to find a way to turn on environmental controls and scrub the radiation.
Place is probably crawling with ghouls, too.
A problem for after we find a way in. By the blueprints, the only path to the controls is through that door.
How do you know?
I've memorized the architectural blueprints ahead of time.
Yeah, Lydia would do all the NLTC bookkeeping in her head if she wasn't such a stickler for the almighty paper.
I was hoping for better news than that.
The better news is that I've seen worse. I reckon we can get this cleared. That said, I'm a strong gal and all, but I don't think I can jimmy that open by myself. Hey, big fella, think you and I could swing it?
What? Me? Not usually my line of work. But suppose we're in this together.
They can work on the door. Meanwhile, I believe it would be a better use of our time to explore in the other direction.
What exactly are we looking for?
Security checkpoints will require keycards, and we're likely to find some in there.
Lead on.
I believe it'd be in both of our interest if you take the lead.
Little busy. You go on with Her Highness. Try and keep her in one piece, yeah? She still owes me pay for this. You know they expect me to do performance reviews. I just write killed everything each time. No complaints yet. what I wouldn't give for a deathclaw right now.
Yes. Don't have the key. Hi.
A pleasure to see you.
That's a serious lock. Need to find a key.
No need. Allow me. Not a problem.
Hidden depths, princess!
Only a bit of patience and
Back on
proper
track.
lockpicks. I hate this place.
We don't have as many super mutants around the home office. Just
I'm starting to doubt this. Well, no, I don't doubt it. Damn it! Again! Is violence the only language you idiots speak? Get away from me! Add the cost of new clothing to my hazard pay report. Ah, yes, hello. There is an improbable number of ferals here. It must have been a crowded building in its time. There's a reason I usually don't do the field work myself. But if you want something done right... This is it. This operation is going better than expected. It's not the team I would have picked, but even the broker has proven himself to be acceptably competent. If you ignore the ridiculous moniker and the atrocious toupee.
What do you know about him?
Not as much as I would like. He shows his professionalism in how thoroughly he has swept his life from record.
He's a very dedicated man.
Dedicated to his job, yes. And quite good at it. If it wasn't for his grandiose delusions, I could almost respect him. I've never understood the drive to sell a meaningless image of oneself. Skill should speak for itself and require no illusions. It only makes people like Mr. Ron and Mr. Glatton frustrating. Always offering something they don't have instead of putting forth what they do. Sadly, most of the NLTC operates under the same delusions.
You sound troubled.
I suppose I am. We're here to secure the leverage that will prevent the NLTC from withdrawing from the region, to both our benefit. I'm sure you've already assumed this is an ambitious reach for power, but the reality is that I simply don't wish to return to home office. Not yet.
Why don't you want to go back?
Because there is little I can accomplish there. There is a thriving center, surrounded by rotting slums. What you're doing in the Commonwealth, though, I've never seen its like before. Not really.
There's more to this, isn't there?
Quite a bit more. Perhaps it'll prove a little of my intentions to divulge it. I was born into wealth. I live with it, work with it, procure more of it. Caps never had any significance. The things Caps can buy, the people Caps can pay off, none of it has meaning. Last thing I need is more of it. But the NLTC is full of people like Mr. Glatton. For them, money is a tool to be leveraged for power. Something to be taken away from others. The result is people like Miss Gale. She was born to less than nothing. And even that, the NLTC tried to take away. I tried to take it away.
What do you mean? What happened?
I'd proposed a renovation plan for a slum, Allison's hometown. To restore the piping and wiring, provide heating. I had humanitarian intentions, but it was a mistake. The board only approved it because of nepotism, with my father spearheading it. They swept into the slum, demanding the people vacate while the repairs were made, for their own good. Some abysmal failures of diplomacy later, Miss Gale and the rabble she rallied sieged the Home Office. She killed my father. Mr. Glatton got promoted to his position. The board smoothed the incident over, but never forgot whose proposal it was originally.
I'm sorry about your dad.
Don't be. The man was a monster. I felt little about his death. If anything, I was relieved. His approval of the project was nothing but a bid to teach me a harsh lesson. He hadn't accounted for Miss Gale's effectiveness.
Hey, I'm sure you had good intentions.
Intentions hardly matter. They are not a quantifiable variable in economic equations. On a personal level, I've only ever wanted all this money to mean something. To make a difference other than adding zeros to papers. What you are doing here is exactly what I wish I could have done in the NLTC. Except, against all odds, you're actually succeeding. In any case, those are my reasons for being here. We've spoken long enough. Let's return to the others.
Damn, cool cat. That was pretty impressive. Sure you didn't pull something?
Whew. It's all good, baby. The Ron works out, you know.
Ever think of taking a job as muscle? I always got openings in my company.
The Ron prefers brains over brawn. But, whew. Thanks, little lady. Appreciate the offer.
Hey, I like you and all, but call me little lady again and I'll scalp you with a rusty switchblade.
Good. I see you got the door open. Now we can move on to more important matters.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Perhaps it'll be more efficient if Mr. Ron proceeds to the environmental control room. It appears you have an aptitude for terminals, and I'm sure there are plenty security codes you've yet to reveal.
You sure? Wait, this isn't some scheme to get into the archive room as soon as the door opens, is it?
I didn't come here to get ripped apart by ghouls. While you get the controls, Miss Gale and I shall consider how we can clear the path beyond the door.
Looks like it's you and me. And the ferals, robots, and possible structural weaknesses. Oh yeah!
Are you alright? You seem a little jumpy.
Now a good time to mention the Ron might get a little woozy in enclosed, entombed, or encased places, especially with ferals around. Because, you know, if any of that was true, now would be the moment I'd mention it.
Just keep a cool head, okay? Don't think about it too much.
No sweat. The Ron is right behind you. The Ron always wins. Oh, man. Get ready for a whooping, dipsqueak. Hold up. Now we're cooking with gas. Let me just try these codes out. And presto! Environmental controls. Now to set them to scrub, and that radiation is history.
Excuse me.
Hey! The winner is Oh yeah! You know, you're my favorite client. Just the two of us, rolling through town. Nothing to see here. At least I have a story for my grandkids.
Do you have security codes to any of the other sections?
The Ron just might. Some of these could work. Give them a whirl.
Okay, that's pretty good. I'm impressed.
You know it, baby! And that square Lydia thought I'd be a drag. Though I'll hand it to her, she knows her shtick. But the Ron does it better, of course. And, you think that alley chick is sweet on me? I mean, the Ron, he a rolling stone. But I would be flattered if she weren't so terrifying.
How'd you come up with that name?
Guess you caught Lydia calling me Mr. Spritz earlier. That corporate stiff really did her homework on me. Alright, the Ron wasn't born the Ron. My folks named me Eugene Ronald Spritz. But what kind of name is that? It's no wonder the other kids wanted nothing to do with me. Once I was old enough to fly the nest, I rebranded. New name, new job, new image, new everything. Eugene was a nobody. But now I was the Ron, information broker extraordinaire. And just like that, people started paying attention, even talking to me. I finally felt like a somebody. Though, to level with you, I thought I'd make a lot more friends than I have. And maybe not so many enemies.
Do people actively avoid you?
No one really knows their own reputation, even the Ron. But I'm not totally tone deaf. I do hear a lot of things out there, what people really think of me. Some even say it to my face.
Can you blame them? You made your living exposing other people's secrets.
When you put it that way, I'd always thought the info gig would just be cool, you know? The all-knowing, the amazing, the Ron! Never in a million years thought it'd bring thugs like the Gunners to my door.
Don't sell yourself short.
Ha! Never have! You know, if I'm being honest, which with you I usually am, it gets hard to fill my own shoes sometimes. But if I'm not the Ron, and just some squirt called Eugene, would anyone even show up at my door?
Why are you ashamed of that?
Of my name? Because the Ron is a comprehensive repository of information. He's useful, owns his own business, sometimes even helps people. And even if folks don't like him, they at least begrudgingly respect him. But Eugene, he's nothing but a pudgy loser with no real friends. He doesn't even have a full head of hair.
You're full of life and optimism. People find that attractive.
Yeah, I guess some do. People like you and Jake. Those who can accept me as the Ron, or just plain old Eugene. I don't think I'm ready to drop the whole the Ron persona, even if it is a little tiring sometimes. But I'm glad to know I don't have to keep it up when I'm around you. Just knowing that, well, it makes me feel a lot more secure in myself. So, thanks. Haven't told anyone this stuff before. I appreciate you listening.
Really?
Well, a little to Jake, but he's had his own problems to deal with. Didn't want to burden him, you know?
We're friends. No thanks necessary.
No, it's necessary. So thank you. Time to get with the program. Way through is scrubbed. Let's check in with the ladies. See if they figured out our feral problem. Oh yeah!
And this should be it. Bit of lights, bit of noise. The ferals will hear it more than we will.
Perfect for our needs. I dare say I'm impressed, Miss Gale.
What? This? Any slum rat knows how to jerry-rig this kind of shit. Not like we can buy it from NLTC-approved stores.
Well, looks like our other specialists are back. Time to put the strategy into motion. Are the radiation scrubbers online?
You know it, baby!
How were things here while I was gone?
Quiet, until the scrubbers kicked in. The ghouls sure didn't like that. We're gonna have to deal with them before opening the door.
So, the next step?
While the scrubbers clean the radiation from the wing, we can address our last problem.
There's way too many ghouls past those doors for us to just stroll on through, even if you tossed a cluster grenade in first. They had centuries to marinate in the rads.
How many ghouls are we talking about?
Based on the camera feed, somewhere between lots and a horde.
So what's the solution?
Think you might like this one. Plan is, you and I go over to an arena we chose, set the stage, and then activate the little beacon I just rigged up. Then we slaughter them all as they funnel through.
How does this device work?
I borrowed the bank's speakers and a couple lights. You saw how the ghouls all came running when we triggered the lockdown? Ferals aren't known for their self-preservation. Give them a clear path and some bait, and we can funnel them into a meat grinder.
Not a bad call.
The strategy is fine, but it's still really dangerous. You sure you want to do this?
Please. A free-for-all ghoul slaughter? I'd pay to have this kind of setup on demand.
You ready?
Hell yeah. Let's get going. I got a place in mind for this. Life is good. We got incoming. Hey, look! Stuff to kill. Looks like trouble found us. Last any longer than that? This day gets better and better.
Hey,
Hey, once we start the beacon, it'll be go, go, go for a while. Don't know if we'll get a chance for a breather until they're all dead. So, if you got any mines, put them down. Not all at once, save some for later in case there's an encore. Ready to get this show on the road?
how are you feeling about things?
I'm always up for a good slaughter. Don't worry, I'm all in on this.
I'm gonna need some of your grenades.
Oh, yeah, I can spare a few. Just be careful with the cars. You know how they like to go boom when you breathe on them wrong? Good for mopping up ghouls, bad for taking cover.
Yeah, let's do this.
That's what I like to hear. All right, I'm putting down the beacon. Get ready. Incoming! We got a few seconds. If you've got any more mines, now's the time to put them down. I hear more of them! Hold up, back on track. Taking damage. You holding up? Keep an ear out for more shamblers. I got incoming. Anyone else? No? Ghouls! You all right? Watch out, shamblers. That one. I got a minute to reload.
Hi.
You holding up? Keep an ear out for more shamblers. That's right. Keep them coming. Hey! Looks like we're round up. Hold up. We got an audience. And that's how we do it! Ha!
Excuse me.
You're a force of nature, you know that?
You hurt?
If I am, I can't feel it yet. Let's head back and share the good news.
What could you even want with it? Sinking all this money? And it's not gonna be a profit-turning venture for you. Believe me.
Everything is a profit-turning venture if you have the business sense. Your assumption speaks more about your competence than it does mine.
No need to get all bent out of shape about it. The Ron just calls it as he sees it.
As a general rule, I don't take financial advice from anyone that habitually refers to himself in the third person.
Honey, we're home.
I see you've been successful.
What are you two arguing about anyway?
Mr. Ron seems to doubt the wisdom of this venture despite being fully aware what's at stake.
All I'm saying is, it'd be better off being put to use, not sold off to the highest bidder.
Your opinion is duly noted.
You missed all the fun. I'll be sure to invite you along next time.
Yeah, we'll make a wastelander of you yet.
Perish the thought, please. The path to the archive wing should be clear now. Unless anyone has any objections, let's get to our prize.
Hey,
Hey, General.
I'm a simple man.
Beyond How impolite. I hate this place.
Hey, look!
Wrong guy to mess
Stuff to
with.
kill.
Add the
Oh,
cost of new
yeah.
clothing to my hazard pay report. And here we are.
Wait, is that what I think it is?
Indeed.
Alright. I'm missing something. Didn't you want the archives?
okay, what's really going on here?
Why in the world would I want the archives of a pre-war bank? I'm here for the landfill under the building.
Why in the world would you want a landfill of... What is that, Nuka-Cola?
I expected better of a professional of your caliber. That isn't standard Nuka-Cola. It's Nuka wine. A failed experimental product that never received a trademark before the war. It was discarded in landfills such as these. A colossal waste. However, it has since distilled into something the NLTC considers a luxury product, even for our standard of luxury. This bank is sitting on a fortune you cannot even comprehend. And you thought I was here for some bank receipts?
Hey, there's a wealth of information in things like bank receipts if you know how to use them, right?
Then congratulations. By your standard, you've just become a rich man indeed. The Commonwealth now has something that the NLTC will desperately want. They won't be retreating even once Mr. Glatton is deposed.
Is this going to work?
Oh, it'll work. The NLTC hotshots are real big on this stuff. Costs an arm, a leg, and both your kidneys.
Okay, that's pretty good. I'm impressed.
Thank you. It certainly wasn't easy to locate while keeping a low profile. Any number of things could have gone wrong at any stage. Miss Gale, can I entrust that your company will keep this location secure for the time being?
Yep, I'll have the boys keep watch. And I'm coming with you, obviously. No way in hell I'm missing the look on Glatton's face.
Excellent. In that case, let's return to the trading post. It's time to confront Mr. Glatton.
Hi.
Yes? Yeah? Yes?
Would need the key.
Lydia, you look like hell. Where on earth were you? Work's piling up, and what's with this nonsense about returning home?
Oh, I apologize. I realize this is all very confusing. You're under arrest for breach of contract. I'll be acting as chief trader, effective immediately.
Breach of... Lydia, what are you on about? What breach of contract? You're the one in charge of all the paperwork.
I suggest you shore up your innocent philanthropist act for internal affairs. You're going to need it to climb out of the hole you dug for yourself.
Lydia, please, if you'll just explain to me what I did wrong or where this is coming from.
Spare me, and for God's sake, have a little dignity.
Want to fill me in on what's happening?
I've dispatched my courier and received a reply. Internal Affairs have begun investigating my allegations. Normally, I would also be required to testify, but the recent discovery of a crucial resource forced the board to name me chief trader of this outpost.
Translation: Glatton goes, Lydia stays. Also, you win.
Aptly put.
I'm sorry it had to be this way.
Miss Gale, if you would ensure that Mr. Glatton is taken straight to his boat? Oh, I suppose I should say the NLTC's boat, seeing as all his assets have been declared frozen.
With goddamn pleasure, ma'am.
Oh, hello.
Yes?
This is a mess. You know, you and I could have done something amazing with the Commonwealth. I don't know what lie Lydia managed to sell you on, but let me tell you. Lydia's had everything handed to her on silver platters her whole life. But despite both her parents being on the board, she couldn't influence even the smallest change in her own backyard. At least not one that didn't lead to a violent rebellion, her father's death, and, oh yes, her own disgrace.
What happened between you two?
I was her father's assistant for years. I worked for that position my whole life. I earned it, and all she needed was the right name. When he died, I got his position. And even though I wanted to give Lydia the benefit of the doubt, it's obvious she never forgave me for it. All merchant-bred assholes are backstabbing pricks, but I thought she and I came to an understanding. I was to be the face, and she could run the books. But nothing is ever enough for people like her.
Sorry, but I don't believe you.
And why not? Because you believe her side of things? Her and Allison's? You have to be joking. Without me, Lydia would be a pariah, and Allison would be hunted like a rat for everything she's done. I gave them both a chance to put their skills to use. Away from home office, away from any politics or history, a clean slate out of the Proudmoore family shadow, and this is how they repay me. Is that the partnership you wanted? Without me, the only thing Lydia really has is more caps than she knows how to use. Ah, is that what you're after? Her wealth?
Why the hell are you lying to me? Again?
You're paranoid about me, but you apparently chose to believe Lydia. Why? Do you think she's incapable of lying? I made the same mistake. And as you can see, I paid for it.
This was personal.
What have I ever done to you besides offering you every opportunity at bettering the Commonwealth? I suppose you can't help those who refuse to be helped. We won't see each other again. I'll deal with internal affairs and move on. I'll live my life working for the NLTC and never having to set foot in this goddamn Commonwealth again.
I gotta do my job for a bit. Let's talk in a few days once things settle, yeah? Wouldn't mind heading out with you again.
Hey.
We've talked enough. Go celebrate with Lydia.
Hey there.
Hey, hun. So we actually pulled it off. Long live the Ice Queen, huh? Glatton's confined to the boat until he's off to Home Office to face down a committee. Don't know what'll happen to him there. If something were to happen to him before all that, though...
You're not suggesting I...
Who, me? Suggesting? No, just pondering. You know, what his brains will look like splattered across his precious boat.
No, no way.
I can't seem to recall anything we'd just said. Must have hit the celebration drink too hard. Can't hear a thing either. Anyway, you should give things a chance to settle here and then come on back for a chat. Pairing with you's been more fun than I've had in... probably ever. Wouldn't mind heading back out if you want the backup.
Yes?
I gotta do my job for a bit. Let's talk in a few days once things settle, yeah? Wouldn't mind heading out with you again.
Basement.
Welcome back.
One thing I miss about home.
I'm now the sole leader of this NLTC outpost.
There's just not a lot
Incidentally,
else to
my workload hasn't shifted in the slightest.
What are you planning on doing?
I have a couple of strategic investments in the works, you being one of the more prominent ones. Of course, I'm intending to provide a fair deal and fair investments. Making the best use of them will be up to you and your people. Perhaps in time, this region will come to trust our contracts and our way of conducting business. It might be an uphill battle without a more charming representative, but perhaps our efforts will speak for themselves.
Glad it turned out well.
In large part, thanks to your efforts. As it so happens, the discovery of the Nuka Wine landfill has caused renewed interest in this partnership in Home Office. Investors are lining up to claim a stake in trade to the Commonwealth. For you, this means more resources and discounts on our services. When I first met you in that warehouse, I'll admit, I didn't quite know what to make of you. Now I believe you deserve far, far more respect than anyone residing in Home Office.
Hey, need something moved quietly?
Excuse me.
It's done. With him gone, I'm now the chief trader. I'll consider promoting someone to my old vacancy later. I'm still fully intending to continue those duties. I almost found that anticlimactic somehow. So many moving parts in my plan, and yet he remained fully ignorant of my movements. Perhaps I could have attempted this far earlier, but something tells me you were the crucial linchpin to this coming together as well as it did. Truth be told, trusting you has been the riskiest investment I've ever made. But you are rather impressive.
Why would you trust me? A stranger?
I misspoke. It wasn't a matter of trust. In fact, it had nothing to do with you. I'm not in the business of mindless leaps of faith. I wagered on your sense of self-interest.
I thought we worked well as a team.
I hope we can continue that trend. Well, I think that's enough for now. I have to attend to the transfer of authority of this outpost. Oh, I'd almost forgotten with all the excitement. Here's the payment we had agreed upon. There is one last thing left to do, and that's to pay Mr. Ron for his involvement. If you wouldn't mind delivering this to him. We'll speak more once you return.
Hey there.
Welcome back. I'm now the sole leader of this NLTC outpost. Incidentally, my workload hasn't shifted in the slightest.
So, what now?
Now, we continue to do business without further distractions. As it so happens, the discovery of the Nuka Wine landfill has caused renewed interest in this partnership and home office. Investors are lining up to claim a stake in trade to the Commonwealth. For you, this means more resources and discounts on our services. When I first met you in that warehouse, I'll admit, I didn't quite know what to make of you. Now I believe you deserve far, far more respect than anyone residing in home office.
Hello to you.
I have something for you.
The payment from those NLTC suits. Thanks. Actually, glad it's you who swung by. I think it's time the Ron shared what he found at that old bank. That is, if you'd be interested in the info.
What did you find?
It's quite possible the Ron has already exalted the value of information most considered unimportant. Things like old terminal entries, office documents, receipts.
Makes sense, I suppose.
Well, after some digging around the bank's archive room, I discovered just what I was looking for. Laminated, fully notarized, signing in triplicate, pre-war receipts, detailing in no uncertain terms the full name of the Fenway Park's majority owner. One Reginald Eugene Spritz, my great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather. Oh yeah! You heard that right, cool cat! As the direct descendant of the pre-war Mr. Spritz, technically speaking, Diamond City rightfully belongs to yours truly.
You said Diamond City, right?
Oh yeah! The great green jewel itself. Now the Ron is under no delusions. It's not as if anyone's gonna hand over the keys to the city just because I show them some papers. But blood and family mean something here. And with this proof of lineage, people would have to start taking me a lot more seriously. I could finally start expanding my business without anyone trying to shut me down. Hell, I could even wrangle myself a new home in the upper stands. Ha! Can you imagine the looks on the face of those hoity-toity squares when the Ron rolls in? Ha ha ha! Anyway, none of this would have been possible without your help. So thank you.
You're welcome. Anytime.
With that out of the way, what is it the Ron can do for you?
Excuse me.
Welcome to the Ron's Information Emporium. How can the Ron help you today?
You own this place?
You better believe it, baby. I built the Ron's Information Emporium from the ground up. Where others saw a stinking Brahmin pen, I saw prime real estate. Where others saw useless scraps of paper, I saw lucrative knowledge. And where others saw some dweeb they could push around, I saw a future business tycoon conquering a fledgling market. I saw the Ron! Oh yeah!
I need you to find someone.
Then you came to the right place, baby. If skilled labor's what you need, then the Ron can hook you up. The Commonwealth's just filled with people. Strong mercs, anti-farmers, savvy workers. Whatever your settlements might need, I can find. So, tell me, what kind of person are you looking for? Strong, wise, tough, charming, smart, fast, lucky? Name it.
I'm looking for someone. On second thought, forget it.
Treatments have undergone extensive testing before being used on live patients.
Ah, you're here. I've been getting used to the approximate scheduling style. Thankfully, your HQ staff has kept me occupied while I waited. You've assembled a capable team here.
What makes you say that?
On the surface, they seem unprofessional and disorganized. But only on the surface. They're all competent and have come together for a common goal, led by your example. They're also all fiercely protective. Of this HQ, the Commonwealth, and of you. I've never seen anyone inspire such loyalty. I have definitely never experienced it myself.
Thanks. That means a lot coming from you.
It's heartening to see this endeavor being taken seriously. I'm here to extend the offer of an official partnership between your faction and the NLTC. Normally, the NLTC doesn't get so directly invested in any side of a conflict. It took some convincing, but it's been judged by the board that intervention is worth the cost. A formal agreement will standardize our business with each other and give us the security we need to make further investments in your people.
What difference does it make?
As things are right now, every deal we make is on an individual basis. Formalizing an agreement for the region is the equivalent of drafting a legal architecture for our business. It will inform all our services and define expectations of one another. That means our transactions and rates will be stable and predictable. Reliable trade routes and profit margins will encourage further investment from Home Office and authorize additional benefits as well.
What's the catch?
I cannot understate our core principle. If it's on paper, it's law. We will treat this contract as such. When there's a breach by you or one of your people, we will expect enforcement. Failure to comply will result in penalties and the termination of the agreement. I'm sorry if that sounds cold, but I want you to fully understand the weight of what's on offer here.
Sounds fair. I'm in.
Excellent. This will go a long way. Not just for the NLTC's interests in the region, but to standardizing business practices here. I've left the contract with your logistics officer. Our trading outpost will now be under your jurisdiction to a degree. You will also see increased NLTC activity in your settlements, and perhaps even some unique initiatives. Additionally, the contract requires that a representative of the NLTC be present during any region-wide talks to offer our voice. The responsibility falls to me as the chief trader. With that settled, I'll take my leave. Thank you for seeing me.
Yeah, that's all. Bye.